Every year, Army Painter comes out with the limited edition complete painter set, usually around the end of the year, Thanksgiving to Christmas. I believe I have started to see these go on sale once again. So I thought I would finally do an unboxing of last year's set. Let's take a look. First, we'll flip it over and see what the back says. And one thing that's really nice is the initial painting chart. And this can also be found online, so you can get and print out. This is especially nice because while you are looking to decide which paint you want to use for which project, it's a lot of them are pretty closely matched up on here, so you can kind of take a look and compare colors and get an idea of what they might be. The other thing that I really like about the Armory Painter line is how they do the paint pot lids and how they do different color lids for the different things, where you have your normal paints and your effects with the white, and then you have your shades or washes in red and your metallics in black. I just wish they put the effects in something different, like a blue. That would have been really nice. The other thing that that Army Painter and their war paints pride themselves on is the paint matching. They offer a lot of rattle can primers in a lot of their main color lines. And this is very useful because, unlike, say, Games Workshop, who has for example, a black spray and a black paint, even if you prime yours in their black, they recommend that you do an all-over coat of their black because the two colors are not the same. They won't match up. On the other hand, here with Army Painter, they guarantee that these colors will match. So where that comes into benefit is if you prime it and then mess up a little or you miss a little spot, you can come in with your pot and clean it up or touch it up and everything will match up. Very useful feature. This set comes with a bunch of free brushes. Comes with a terrain, a small dry brush, their regiment. This is their pretty standard brush. And then the small detail brush, and then what they call their psycho brush, which is an extremely small, probably you'll use this for nothing but maybe eyes. This is what you're going to use almost all the time. And then, of course, like with all of their painting sets, they also give this little pamphlet, which we'll be able to take a look at. Let's crack this bad boy open and see what the inside looks like. Once again, we're going to see a total of 24, 96 paints, 11 washes, 8 metallics, and 9 effects. All right. Let's see. And there we go. A little primer guide. Goes over some of their product line by the looks of it. Another thing by them that I can swear by is I have these file sets. These are a really nice set of 3 files for metal files for really getting in and doing stuff. Those are really nice. And then again, here's those rattle cans. And then where they offer the dip method, which I personally don't care for, but a lot of people go by them. And that's literally, it looks like a small little can of house paint. And you can literally take your model, hold it with something, don't use your fingers, and literally dip it in and take it out and shade one and done. And then here are all the colors we're going to see in the set. Here are all their paint brushes. Excuse me. And their paintbrush, kit, if you wanted to just get all their brushes, or all their basic brushes, and then here are their premium brushes. One of the things that they're nice is they kind of go with the architect design. If you've ever seen an architect pencil, they're the triangular shaped pencils, so they don't roll around. They do that same thing, so your paintbrushes won't roll around on your tabletop. Here they show a couple more of their paint sets. This is the more traditional. This is the one that most people will probably end up getting, the 50. One's available year-round as opposed to this one, which again is limited. Only comes out usually this time of year. And then their line of basing materials and game aids. So nice little buy more of me pamphlet. And then their fairly thick little instruction guide. We'll take a quick look, and they'll show their different methods. A little more in depth on some of their tools. Oh, and see, I like this kind of stuff where they'll show, the same model, just multiple different primes, multiple different schemes to give you an idea of the different things you can achieve, and just by changing up the colors a little bit with the single model. And a little tutorial, very nice, showing the use of the rattle can. Again, this is usually a lot of times how I'll do it. And I don't know what they say, but I'll stick it down either with double-sided tape or a little bit of gray stuff, blue stuff. Putty, those work really nice. And again, here where they talk about their caps, the colored caps. Again, my only wish is I wish that was a blue cap. And then they go over a few techniques. And here they show some of their tufts. I got a bunch of these. I like their tufts, pretty nice. And now take a look at those free paints. Assuming I can get into the package and get past this tape. There we go. Man, look at the size of that bad boy. That's got to be the Psycho. No, that's our detail brush. Oh my lord, that means the Psycho's going to get even smaller. Okay. And that's probably going to be the dry brush. Yeah. Yep, small dry brush. And these, yep, a little stronger, because you kind of want stronger bristles for that, because you beat up a dry brush when you're going to town with that. right. And then the terrain. Vehicle and terrain brush. And the regiment. That'd be that. There's standard size. Probably, I would guess, if I was, this would probably compare to like maybe a 1 or a 2. Probably a 2 on other paint lines or other brush lines. Regiment, and now the one that's going to go insane, most likely. Let's take a look. Oh my dear Lord. Look at that. Yeah, that's the Psycho. So let's try to take a look at, here we go. There's small detail versus that's its Psycho on the top, small detail on the bottom. Wow. And the regiment. So there we go. And these you want to make sure you save for your brushes. Put them back on. Don't throw these away. So that way, when you are storing your brushes or keeping them, you don't damage the bristles. So it's not just for shipping and everything. You wanna save these and continue to use them even after the fact. And now into all the paints. Now, one thing that is nice, it looks like a lot of these, because they have so many, had to go outside, but these little containers that a lot of these came in, these are also nice, because nobody has room for all of these paints in all their stuff. That's just crazy amount. But what you can do is get together usually 5, maybe 10. I usually don't paint with that many colors during one sitting. Get the paints you're wanting. Then you have a nice little carry case. And by the looks of it, they even have a little reservoir here for a brush, for you to just stick one of those in there. But so that way you can put in just the 5 to 10 that you're going for that setting, and then you have a nice little, so you can transfer and move everything around. Now with their line, none of their paints, also Vallejo, the same way. None of theirs comes with any kind of agitators or whatever. So I do go and I buy little beads. And so as I open a pot for the first time, I will put 2 agitators in every pot. And it'll help with the shaking. And then I also have a nail polish shaker, and I put it in there, and it shakes the heck out of it. Because a lot of these, they sometimes go a little while between uses. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is, especially after shipping, a lot of these army painters, while as good as they are, so you can see that, as good as they are, they tend to separate, especially during shipping. So make sure you shake the heck out of their paints. So if you do go army painter, you probably are going to want to invest in agitators and a nail polish, just shaker to, and then give these, like I said, a really good shake prior to usage, or you won't be happy with them. Now, I won't go through all 24, because basically once you've seen a couple paint pots, you've seen them all. But this is what you get in Runaway Pot. This is what you got with the Warhammer or the Army Painter complete set paint line. There's one of their metallics. Now, one of the things that a lot of people do praise Army Painter on is their shades. A lot of people talk about how they even like these better than the Games Workshop shades, which I love. So that's saying a lot. When you can get a nice, cheaper shade, especially in a dropper, which is amazingly one of the few instances where I do like the Games Workshop paint pot, because it is a little easier, because with those I don't tend to put, because it's so thin, don't tend to put this on my palette or anything. So I do like to just be able to dip my large shade brush in and paint. But for the most part, I love the dropper bottle over the paint pots. That one's kind of weird how a couple of them came in a sealed. Let's see. You would have expected them all to come in the same kind of, these kind of containers. Those ones really came out. But it looks like there's no rhyme or reason in their packaging of these. Flush wash. Now for me, probably these all got, and here's some of the effects. Finally get into some of these. Here we go. Here. Blood. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be like their Blood for the Blood God from Citadel. Quick Shade Wash Mix Medium. Which, depending on which video you see from Games Workshop, this would probably be the most similar to their Lame Medium, because they talk about that as being a wash mix to use the thin down washes, or they talk about it how just being just a medium for watering down your paints without changing the makeup of the paint. So all you're doing is diluting the pigment and not changing the color. A mixing medium. That one, I don't know what a mixing medium would be over. then a mud. Alright, what are you? Rust? No. Which is the dry rust is an orange. So being that it's effect, I'm going to assume that there's grit in here, but without actually playing with it, I won't know for sure. And let's take a quick look at some more of these. Very cool. And if I remember right, when I purchased this one, I think I got it for about $1.50 a pot. And currently, when I was looking at them, these ones will run you usually around, so where you're paying about $2 for a pot of paint. And then once you add in those free brushes, you're dropping that cost down even more. So it is a fairly cheap way to get, all the colors, and to get just an enormous, amount of colors, where most other companies, your pots will run, or your droppers will run about $4. So at $2 a pot, even if you were to think about cutting this, in half at about 75 or whatever it is, that makes this still, very valuable. Where you're thinking you're getting, so many different colors, so you can do, all the different little nitpicky little things in a fairly easy way. Back up. And let's take one final look at the back. So I'm gonna seal you shut. I can flip it. A little closer look. So then you'd have your matte varnish. This would be for a paint on. So that way, if you wanted to, usually varnishes you'll spray on, but so this you can do targeted varnishing of stuff. Again, your wash, your mixing, and then your gloss to give a shiny coat. Again, so that way what you would do here is do a spray on matte varnish over your entire miniature, and then do a targeted paint on varnish over like gems and metal. And let's see, there are different washes they offer. Metallics. And let's see if we can find the rest. Here we go. There we go. There's brush on primer, so that'd be just that nice. So if you had the gray, or if you wanted to brush on just gray primer for effect, and here's your blood that we actually saw that pot. Rust, mud, slime. Very nice. But so that is what you get in the Army Painter complete set. Again, this is last year's set, but I don't think it has changed from then to now. So if you're looking to come straight in, I haven't really used this any, because I had to pre-order this one back in the very beginning of all of my stuff, and since it was a pre-order and took so long to arrive, in the meantime I slowly started getting Vallejo and Citadel, so now I'm using those before I really dive into this. So it might even be a little while longer before I really dive into it a ton and really take a look at it. But I definitely don't regret picking this one up. Great value in the set. You know, literally has everything. So if I do ever come up with a time where I'm running short on a pot or a color, I know I can come over here and pretty much find whatever I need fairly easily. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it useful. If you're in the market for a paint set. Talk to you later.